talk about, as the title saying on HAPS, Tim Cook's decade at Apple. I will start out listening here on Facebook. Yeah. So I hear myself. So Tim Cook's decade, 10 years with Apple, and it's in the latest issue of Economist there. When I log into my account, it's a free account there, and you could read a couple of articles. So they had two articles, I think, on Tim Cook's 10-year decade with Apple, and probably as an Apple fanboy, Steve Jobs' impression on Apple and how he had created and the story when I came back. Probably many wondered how will it go now with a new leader at the helm, leading the company. And now Tim been there for 10 years, and he will probably stick around for some more years, but probably will not be there for another 10 years. Let's guess. One viewer here, thanks for viewing. And as an Apple fanboy, I think it's the brand and it's the products and the management, of course, that's leading it, but you have to have a CEO and a leader, also a visionary. And in a way, one of the successful factors and skills that Tim Cook has is looking at the supply chain. So with the vendors and suppliers and logistics of products and how to produce it from A to Z, from A to B, etc. So there is his skills, and he's managed that. And they already will take a sip here of tea with the honey. They talking about who will come next, and they have a name here, and was it Jim Williams or John Williams? That he is a Tim Cook. So he is a copy or a doppelganger of Tim Cook, and also have taken over the job that Tim Cook had previous to when Steve Jobs was at Apple. So, and he's also into this logistics, supply chain, and having a relation with the vendors here. Do something funny. Yeah, what could that be? That's a request here from Scott something, or say something funny. Yeah, that could be something to think about. What should I say that's funny? I think it's pretty funny to have Apple products, and you could probably find some funny things about Apple and the leadership and all the history there, if you look at that. So that's the article in The Economist about Tim Cook, and as I said, he has increased the market value for shareholders in a leading position there compared with Microsoft, Google, and Warren Buffett and others, and within 10 years time. And also, for example, the M1 processor have been developed over time here, and they are talking for the future about these eye glasses. I don't know, with Apple it will be this nice design also. I wonder how they look. Will they look like this, or do you remember the glasses that Google was developing? Are they still around, or I remember when it was many years ago that I could test that out and look at this like this space shades or glasses. But with Google's eyeglasses in the future, probably will look more like regular sunglasses and shades. So that will be interesting. So free viewers here now. What do you think about 10 years with Tim Cook, and what could happen in the future with the leadership? And will how will Apple manage in the future? It could probably be some obstacles and some challenges in the coming years. And also, I've said with the market share here, another sip here. Cheers. In certain areas and regions and markets, Apple is not number one there. It's in China and Asia. I think it's a company there. Is it Chinese company or is it a South Korean company? Android phone that is the leading brand. But Apple is doing lots of inroads also. And then they are having lots of vendors and pushing that into China also, and that's something you could discuss. And they have these companies that been in the media now and then, and how the working conditions are and so on in this company. So that's something to follow up. But one thing that Tim Cook is doing also, I've talked about, is the privacy issue. That's interesting to see how that will pan out in the future compared to Google, that's taking or mining your data, and Facebook also, and other big tech companies. So we'll see how that could turn out in the future. And for me as a podcaster, I've been thinking about Apple's leading role when it comes to distribution and their RSS feed. If you should or could say that you have a podcast, I would say that you should get it approved by Apple Podcasts Connect, because most of others distributors and podcatchers apps out there are using Apple's. Then there are others that adding their own touch to it also, but Apple is still a big player there, because on the phone, your iPhone, you already have, as I am using this Apple iPhone here, Apple Podcaster app, the purple colored app with the icon with an eye. I see it as an individual, and then you have the signals there for getting connection or talking like a microphone. So that app, podcast app, podcatcher app, has probably not received the best reviews over time and during the years, but it's okay and still good, and they're playing around with different things, and I like the friendly competition out there with others. So 4 viewers now. So that we'll see. But then, due to the fact that it's so dominant in a way, if it's starting getting some ideas on what they could do in the future compared to others that have tried to corner the market in a way and capsule in the RSS feed. It's something to think about with the dominance of Apple there. But there it's alternative in the future that I will look into more, and that's Podcast Index by Adam Curry and Dave Johnson, I think, and others at al, and they are building that like an alternative place for podcasters, so it could be independent in the future also. So they call it Podcasting 2.0, and see how it could be in the future regarding podcasting and the distribution and the RSS feed and how you catch podcasts. So, Tim Cook, 10 years with Tim Cook, and check out The Economist there and read the articles. If you could do some excerpts, and also in one of the articles there, you could listen to a podcast also. And there it was funny, the podcaster app there on The Economist page, there it was Acast, and that's the company here that started in Sweden. that have been very successful of marketing their podcast player, and also they could have hosting there, and also that they include advertising and ads. So you as a podcaster could earn money also. There have been a bit of debate there how much you could earn and who will earn, and if a long tail of podcasts could do that. Or yeah. So, but they used Apple, and the podcast player was Acast there, so that's their logo and their name on the article. So it's interesting how different publication and magazines are using that, and that I probably will talk more about this Pocket Cast that recently was bought by WordPress foundation called Automatic. And it was previously it was owned by NPR and BBC, I think, and others. So that will be interesting also to see what happened with that podcatcher, Pocket Cast. So, and also with Apple's recent, when they had this new feature with premium RSS, you could earn money if you have a podcast, and then you say you subscribe and pay for it. Right now you say if it's a free podcast, you say follow my podcast. Before it was subscribe to my podcast and rate and review, etc. Now it's to follow and play. So, and that we could also talk about in the future. What's a play, what's a stream, and what's a download of a podcast, and the statistics there, and how you could analyze it. So, and one thing is also that the different companies have, say, taken their positions. So, like Apple has never been pretty good at social media. They had one service called Pling or Plig or Pling, something like that, on iTunes, that you could follow artists and some kind of social activity there, but it's very hard to share and so on, so they closed that down. So, but the app with music and podcast and radio, maybe that could turn into some social media platform or some new thing in the future. We'll see about that, and maybe some other things that will come in the future. The watch or the intelligent speaker or something else that they could have planning, because as the article was saying also, in the future it has to come something after the iPhone. It's a stable product and it will develop it. They said that I have an iPhone 6s Plus. Now it's next one is Apple iPhone 13 or something like that. Is that a lucky number? And then it's like, was it 5,000 more in power and better developed, 5,000% times than iPhone 4 or something like that. That was the phone that started when Tim Cook came 10 years ago. So it have developed very, very much. And also the iPads with the iPad Pro and so on. So it will be interesting to see what's going on in the future here with Apple, and who will take over the helm after Tim Cook when he will, could say, do the exit or cash out and hand over to somebody in a couple of years. So what's your, now it's 5 years, what's your thoughts and views about Apple's leadership during Tim Cook's 10 years? And what do you think about the future? Will Apple still be the leader of the pack when it comes to smartphones, tablets, and computers, laptops? Cheers. as I say, I have an old MacBook Pro from 2011, and my goal is to get the new Apple MacBook, and that has this M1 processor, because they have managed to have no fan there, so it's no sound if you're recording like a live stream or recording a podcast. So that's interesting, and I wonder how Intel is, what they have up their sleeves for the future with the processors. And yeah, that's a show for now, I think. So tomorrow I will have some talking about some follow Friday and Friday fun, or fun Friday, and also doing some announcement as a nano influencer also. So I got a package here today that's will open, and be interesting to do the unboxing and also to test this product. So that's for Friday, and I will have that around 6 p.m. Central European time is my plan. And then on Saturday I will do a noonish show about celebrating, having partying and so on, talking about the week past. So that's on Saturday. And if you have any thoughts, comments, feedback, or on topics when on first day for Thunder, Tours Thunder on Thursday, having an article. So on this article, I pretty much agreed on the author there, and I liked the article as it was and how they presented it in a good way, with the charts compared with other IT and tech companies in this space compared to Apple. And also another article that was thinking what will happen after Tim Cook is leaving or handing over leadership, with the situation what's going on right now and the competition and future things about, for example, privacy and so on. So be interesting to follow along, and talking to you soon again, and around 18 minutes right now. So I will continue with some work here. I'm working on a Twitter course that I will announce in the near future, and maybe I will have a course on live streaming also in the near future, like HAPS and other tools that you could use. I'm, as I said, no expert on this, pretty new for me, and still to think about how to, so that watch yourself and hear yourself and interact. And as this guy here, Truly Scott, has said, do something funny or say something funny. That could be hard sometimes. So it should be entertaining in one way or another, and informative, and also giving some knowledge and information. It will be a good goal and achievement to do that during the streaming. It's also, in a way, movement in time, like an article. And then we could, 10 years from now, we could look back and see what happened since Tim Cook. So, and I could end with saying that this pro tip that HAPS is saying, that download the HAPS app, get 100 coins for free, and then subscribe to get notified and support my work on HAPS by giving HAPS coins or giving to other content creators there, and doing a shout out, do a comment, thumbs up, high five, giving awards. And thanks for you to have done it so far, because I said soon I will be able to buy a cup of tea here. So with that, I say cheerio and talk to you soon again. Bye for now.